Hello! Today I'm gonna give a small talk about that Suicide Squad killed Justice League scene that everybody seems to be mad about. And don't mind the Anthem gameplay. I haven't gotten around to buying it, but I found this game to be similar-ish, so that's why I went with it. Now then, what scene am I referring to? Well, it's that Batman death scene that got spoiled to the high heavens the moment the game released, cause I found it artistic. So, to start that line of thinking, I am going to present the notion that video games are art. So, to me, it's not only a medium to express emotions and feelings, but also serve as a catalyst to evoke them. There was a time when it was a hot topic whether or not games should be considered art, and even though that ain't much talked about these days, it is a firm belief I have. With that out of the way, cue scene. Batman on a bench riddled with bullets. Harley retelling about his achievements, no matter how unsavory. Batman quips that she should finish it already. Harley express mails a bullet to his head, looking miserable all the while. Then there's silence, and so ends Batman's demise. Now, this scene felt pretty strong because of the weight it seemed to carry. Harley looked like she had to do the hardest thing in her life, which seems to imply that there is significant context that the audience has not been made aware of. Mind you, that there seems to be a significant time gap between Arkham Knight and this game, so a lot of things must have happened between those two for the face that she's making. The other detail that I think is significant is how Batman was very quiet throughout all of that, as if to preserve his dignity by being a man of a few words. The execution itself is a very quiet affair, with only Harley speaking her mind right until she pulls the trigger and the bullet casing finishes settling on the ground. Even though she remarks about one last joke, there are no laughs, no quips, no nothing. So, to me, this gives the feeling of a very powerful scene, especially when you consider that this might be one of the few, if not the only scene, where there is a one-to-one conversation between a villain and a hero. Even though there were others, nobody interrupted the moment and let it play out, maybe implying that this death was a hard one for the titular band of misfits to accept. But they weren't the only ones, with a significant part of the player base also finding the scene difficult to accept. Some going so far as saying that this was a horrible send-off to Kevin Conroy, as this is considered one of his last voice work before his tragic passing. And it is that very frustration that made me think that they might be missing the point of that very scene. Like, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to feel that way when you see somebody go in a similarly disappointing fashion. Like, we as an audience know how much Bruce Wayne has endured in order to keep people safe. And here we are greeted with such a mundane send-off. Like, I think it helped ground the character. Like, it reminds us that he was just a dude. Super smart, super rich, but just a dude all the same. And normal dudes can go out in the weirdest ways. Like sleeping on a bathtub, or at the beach because a coconut fell on your head. And mind you, this isn't a new idea at all. Nightwing had a similarly underwhelming death in the Injustice universe. Like, your death coming about due to having an argument with a child named Damian Wayne, getting knocked out by him, and then breaking your neck on a rogue rock doesn't make for a very grand exit, now does it? His death might have been equally frustrating as Batman, and I think that is the point. After all, not everybody gets to go out in a very dignified manner. Now, there's no problem with focusing on the legacy of the character, but that doesn't mean there won't be underwhelming death. Like, there are a lot of DC universe with Batman in it. Like, there's one universe that he's a monster truck, for God's sakes. Like, there's bound to be an unappealing death here and there. Now, with all of that being said, context matters in the world of art, and people's perception of a piece of art can be altered because of it. If the game didn't do a good job presenting its story, then it makes sense that people's perception of anything significant would not be appreciated as one would expect. While it doesn't negate the value of the scene, it also doesn't invalidate people's perceptions on it. And that's the beauty of art. It has room for many viewpoints and many conversations. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. Thanks for watching. Take care, people. Bye.